Okay.
Now it's live.
And we got an invitation to visit Miaoli, yeah, the home of strawberries, Taomei. Thank you. I've been there before, but I never shoot any time lapse there. I only did a few pictures, but it's already 4 years ago. Would love to go back Miaoli. It's a beautiful scenic landscape there. Very, very nice place. And the strawberries are great.
I think that's a pretty long question in Chinese, I think.
I think Sunny is actually, she's translating what we said.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so thank you, Sunny. Someone say that take the mic closer maybe help to reduce echo. I don't know, we can't really take the microphone closer because we're using free devices, so we are sorry if you have some echo. Hope you can hear us clearly.
It's like a
Yeah, maybe it's from the room or something. We're not.
Is it a computer that's making this
It's a
fan?
notebook.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Can you get used to Taiwan in summer? Don't forget to drink enough water, even autumn is coming. Actually, we're in Denmark now. So winter is coming, it's getting colder, and yeah.
It's like what, 14 degrees Celsius today,
Yeah,
I think,
around.
13, 14 degrees, and it's been very, very windy the past few days. It's been a little bit of a storm actually,
Yeah,
this Friday, and very, very cold. The mornings especially is very, very cold at this time of the year, because the humidity is going up, so in Denmark the autumn is very cold.
but indeed, I mean, when I'm in Taiwan in summer, I love it so much. I'm very happy for humid weather. I'm very happy for summer. For me, this is perfect. So I always bring a lot of water, and that's fine with me. As long as I can cool down in a 7-Eleven or Family Mart in the air condition once in a while, it's good. But I really don't mind. And compared to shooting in Denmark, it's amazing. You can sit out in the evening and do night shooting and you don't feel cold at all. You just feel comfortable. So it's very nice.
I think we have a question on Instagram actually.
Yes.
What is on your mind when you are out taking photos? We haven't answered that, have we?
We have not, I think.
I think it's the first question on Instagram actually.
Let me see. Okay, let's check if we have something else, because we are getting questions on 3 different channels.
I don't think that there's any.
Okay. Ariel, it's Ariel asking, hello. Well, I think you can answer what's on your mind.
Not a lot actually. I spend a lot of time walking around in watching, like checking out the city, scouting around. I've just finished quite a large time-lapse photography project from Copenhagen, where there's a lot of so-called hyperlapse techniques involved. It's quite advanced, and I can go more in depth about that later. But when I prepared for my time-lapse photography in Copenhagen, I spent a lot of time on Google Street View actually, and like giving myself a feel of how the city would look like. And when I arrived, I was pretty good prepared on which locations I had to check out, and I actually look for like frames in the city, and look for interesting paths where I can move. Use like when I'm hyperlapsing, I move the camera through space quite a lot, so I'm looking for frames and like checking out where can my time lapse end and where can it start, and like checking out the path in between these 2 points. It's kind of hard to describe what's on your mind when I'm out taking photos, but I think I'm like in some sort of a zen mode a little bit. It's quite relaxing actually to prepare yourself to make time-lapse photography. So yeah, it's I'm out there to get like a feel for, if I feel the shot, if I feel it's gonna be a great time-lapse, I'm gonna note it down and come back later when I think the light is going to be right. So yeah, it's kind of a feel thing, I think. So
it matched pretty well what I actually told some of the journalists when they interview me before. I say it's kind of like a meditation for me when I'm shooting time-lapse. It's very different from when I just shoot still photos or model shooting. It's totally different. Time-lapse give me kind of like a meditation feeling and very quiet, especially when shooting scenic landscapes. Not so much in city, but like when I went Fukwangshan in Kaohsiung and shoot the temple with the big Buddha, or shooting in the mountain area or somewhere like that. It's very calm and peaceful feeling, and it's kind of like yeah, make you feel relaxed. It's really different from shooting when I do model shooting or something like that. It's very fast paced, and you have to be more like on. You have to be into it all the time and be very alert all the time. Very different from shooting something like a time lapse. Let me see.
yeah.
We have another Instagram question. What's
Yeah.
your plan for next photo shooting or video?
Yeah, we've been going over quite a lot of locations around the world that would be interesting to shoot through our time-lapse techniques. And we have some locations that are still a bit secret because we are like brainstorming on storyboards and like still looking for locations and researching about these new places that we potentially could go and make some time-lapse. But I think that yeah, we would really like to go to Taiwan, both of us, and make another time-lapse film about Taiwan, maybe one that is a little bit longer and a little bit more diverse, some more nature shots maybe, and we have like different skills, Henrik and me, so it could be interesting to like make them work together in a like a bigger Taiwan project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't tell too much about it, but yeah, we have something going on behind the scenes and discussing, and yeah, see what comes. But I know Jonas is going to release his own personal project later today, so I guess you have to check it out. It's going to be very amazing, and it will show some of the different techniques we have, where you can see Jonas really excel and do very amazing things with his techniques. So this video will be out later today. So probably when you wake up tomorrow, you will be able to see it from his fan page. We got a question here on Facebook from Lisa. What inspires you to make A Taste of Taiwan? It's a big question as well. It's yeah.
Love?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, it was made out from love for Taiwan for sure, and it basically started with me just taking pictures of beautiful places when I explore Taiwan, and I've been doing that for many years. And along the way, I also did time lapse more and more, and yeah, then I started to shoot scenic places in Taiwan, try to capture especially day to night scenes. And then I came back to Denmark last summer with all those many day to night scenes and amazing scenic landscapes. I spent 3 months shooting in all my free time. And yeah, Jonas and I just start to look into it and think, this could be something, yeah. And we started working on it. And it became A Taste of Taiwan in the end. It's when I saw the final mix after Jonas finished editing it, I just know, yeah, it's we hit something, because I was very touched when I see all the scenes, even I shoot them by myself. And it took us a long time to find someone to make the music to match the film as well. But yeah, in total, everything just matched up and became something unique.
Yeah, it was quite interesting because I've never been to Taiwan, and I had to like make all these sequences that Henrik made play together, even though I've not shot them, I've not made them, and I've never been to Taiwan, so I've actually never seen like the scenes in reality, and I had to like make it play together. So that was quite a challenge, but a fun challenge, I think. So there's been a lot of ping-ponging back and forth, and talking about different music scores and stuff. So yeah, definitely a collaboration all the way through.
Yeah, totally. And we got a question translated from Sunny. Will you consider photographing at dawn, at dusk, next time you come to Taiwan? That's when the light changes the most significantly. Actually, that's what I just talked about a few minutes ago, because A Taste of Taiwan consists of so many scenes shifting from day to night and night to day, so it also has dawn and dusk scenes included. And that's definitely making A Taste of Taiwan very special, because it has all these scenes where I stay up late or wake up very early to shoot those scenes with the amazing light changes. I think we got another question. It's a thank you. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. What we have here, another question. Do you have enough sleep for these time-consuming work? For example, waiting for some unusual scenery.
Yeah, sleep is always a challenge when you have to wake up early and stay out for many hours. Like to wait for darkness, complete darkness to kick in. It's always late, and if you have to wake up again a few hours later to catch the sunrise, it's definitely a challenge to like keep going for days and days on end.
Yeah, I think the worst thing is like if you have a limited time in some location, you try to capture as much as you can. So if you want to capture sunset and daytime and sunrise and do that, and you are maybe only 1 or 2 days in one place, your time is super limited, and this is when you start to become really tired and exhausted, and it's hard to get good sleep, because maybe you are home from your sunset, and then you have a dinner maybe at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m., and then you also do a little bit of night shooting maybe, and then you get a few hours of sleep, and then you wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. and then you go for your sunrise. And if you do that for a couple of days, yeah, you are really tired. But of course, after that you have to give some space to yourself and catch up on your sleep. But it's definitely pretty exhausting to do those scenes if you have limited time. Let me see. Which kind of tone is more suitable for the picture about Taiwan? Tone.
I don't know if you mean like color tone or tone in like music, or
I think maybe color tone.
color tone. Yeah, that was my first thought as well.
Should be, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that would be like the saturated tone, the more like the vivid tones, vivid colors, like the colorful images. Because from what I've seen, like the scenery and the nature is very lush and colorful. So maybe that style would fit photos from Taiwan good. I don't know.
Yeah, I believe that a little bit saturated is good for Taiwan, because it's a very green place actually.
Yeah.
It surprises most people. Most people think like Taiwan is some very hot place, so it should be very yellow and no greens. But basically it's totally opposite, and it's very green all year round. So some saturation is always good. And if you have the right time of the day, like those sunrise or sunset colors, it's always amazing to have a little bit of saturation on the pictures, I think. Is that a question? No, it's just, no. And then we have Peggy. Dit dansk er meget godt. Your Danish is very good, because he's asking us question in Danish. He asked if we want to visit the mountains in Taiwan, because there's many high mountains of more than 3,000 meters, and they are nice to visit. And yeah, actually I've been there already, but I would love to visit more. But this summer I shoot a bit from nearby Yangming Sun Mountain, and I also went to Nantou at Samu Lake, this area. I had some very scenic views. I have been to Alishan before, but it's a long time ago and I didn't have the chance to shoot there, for time-lapse at least, so I hope to make it back one day. Alishan needs to be planned because I actually need to spend a few days up there to catch the nice sun rays. So there's a lot of planning involved to go up there. And the journey is very long, up and down from that mountain as well, so yeah, maybe next time. Okay, we got a question. Have you went to some shooting spot in vain? Spent several time for catching the footage from all in your experience? I think yes.
Definitely yes. There's a lot of time in vain when you're like going for, especially when you're hunting some specific light at a specific location. Sometimes like some clouds come in and can ruin your whole shot because you want some beautiful sun glow or something. So yeah, we do the best we can to check weather apps and cloud covers before we plan our shooting days. So yeah, planning in accordance to the weather is definitely a key factor when shooting time-lapse and landscape photography in general. So yeah, the weather has caused a lot of trips to be in vain, or I would say it's never 100% in vain, because you always learn something new when you're at a location. You see something new or discover new angles, even though you don't get a single picture because of weather or other stuff. So yeah, it's never completely in vain to not get something, to not get photos in your camera home. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's always some sort of value to go to and check out a location, I would say.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Of course, sometimes you spend a long time to get to a location, maybe hours to get there, and you only have one shot. And if the weather is not good, yeah, then it becomes a little bit sad that you couldn't get your shot and you're not able to get back in the near future, at least. But it's never in vain, because you still saw something you wouldn't see otherwise, and maybe you put it on your bucket list for some other day to come back. I definitely have a lot of spots from Taiwan on my bucket list. I will have to go back to be able to shoot it when the light is ready. I kind of noticed that the way I look when I walk around or bicycle around or even drive around is totally different from before I was shooting so much scenery. Now I look at the light, I look at the surroundings a lot differently. I kind of like look at it as I was going to shoot a picture to see if there is a good option to come back to some certain location. And like Jonas just mentioned about the weather, I think every morning I check the weather forecast, even if I'm not going shooting. I even check the weather forecast during the day, even I'm not going shooting. It's kind of like a side effect. Always checking how is the weather going to be like. Yeah, and kind of get the ability sometimes to check the clouds and see today is going to be a nice sunset. Yeah, and usually maybe we are right.
I recently found like an online app called Sunset Wix. Like it's an online application that's developed for predicting sunrises and sunsets. It's like trying to determine how good or how bad the sunset or sunrise is going to be. So we've been using that quite a lot lately. But even that app is gonna like fail sometimes. So
Yeah,
it's a lot of building up experience about like learning the weather, how it's going to develop. So yeah, I think experience is the most important parameter when it comes to
it is.
yeah.
And sometimes the forecast says it's going to rain, and then you get to your location and you have a beautiful weather. I mean,
Yeah.
you can never trust it 100%. We got a question The scenery in Taiwan varies from season to season. What's your favorite season for shooting? Well, most of the shots in A Taste of Taiwan was done in winter and in summer. I have been staying in Taiwan during other seasons as well, but unfortunately not being able to shoot time-lapse because maybe it was just a short trip of 1 or 2 weeks for other business. But I kind of like summer a lot, especially after the rain season is gone. So you have those warm days and you have those more blue sky, white clouds, and ability to see a lot of shadows moving, and the colors of those typhoon sunsets or sunrises can be quite amazing. So just before or after the typhoon is gone, yeah, you usually can have very amazing shots. But I mean, I can't really tell the huge difference. I mean, the season change is not so obvious. Like, for example, in Denmark, the landscape changes really radically for the 4 seasons. But in Taiwan, I don't see this dramatic change in the same way, but summertime is definitely beautiful. Thank you, Alison, and Anne from Kaohsiung. Miss you too. See you next time. Taiwan's temple events are special and very colorful. I believe Alan Chiang, he means maybe when they have the kind of event where you have a lot of fireworks in the streets. It's very good for still photos, for sure. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to be there for making a time-lapse yet. But with the right spot, it could make a good time-lapse for sure. With all the moving crowds and the fireworks and everything going on, it could be a very special fireworks, and it's on my bucket list, but I have to be in Taiwan at the right time to make it. Someone say, yeah, maybe not so many people watching because there's Moon Festival and barbecue, but actually we do have quite a number of people watching on Instagram and Facebook, so it's not too bad. And we know you guys are having Happy Moon Festival, so it's okay. And for those who is not able to see it live, they can always come back and see the replay of the stream. No problem. Okay, someone is commenting on the flag. Well, we are not going to comment on something political. We just purely make the video to show the beauty of Taiwan, and yeah, and this is the Taiwanese flag. And Perry Yu say, Taiwan's Aboriginal culture is a great thing for photography, and indeed it is, especially for still shots. It's amazing what you can do. It's a little bit hard to capture this part in a time-lapse video though, but for still shots, yes, for sure. Hold more events, we will do our best. And hi Angelia in Rome, thank you, I'm glad you like it. Thank you for your efforts. I'm watching with my child and we are practicing our English listening ability together. You help broaden my child's horizon. 谢谢你. We are not good English teachers, but we are very happy we can help. I'm a primary school student. You guys are handsome. I'm commenting using my mom's account. Okay, I think you must be talking about Jonas. He's the handsome guy.
Obviously.
Obviously, he's the handsome guy. Yeah. Yafang asks, what would you say is the most rewarding experience apart from the great photos?
Well, I always enjoy sharing my finished projects with others, because that's like also a big part of making time-lapse photography, is like sharing it with the world, and yeah, building new relationships through my work, because when you make professional time-lapse photography and unique photography in general, you often have a lot of reach, and that makes possibilities to build new friendships through social media and stuff. It's a wonderful time we live in, with a lot of online solutions to build new friendships and stuff. So yeah, that's especially a thing I enjoy apart from shooting. So
Yeah, from my side, rewarding experience. It's also quite a big question, because I think it's rewarding in many ways. Like seeing new places, new location, meeting people. Sometimes when I'm shooting in some spots, you start to talk to people around you, because you spend maybe a lot of time in one place. And if you're not doing a hyperlapse sequence like Jonas, where he keeps moving on, but you're maybe standing and just adjusting once in a while, and you have other photographers around you, after 2 hours or 3 hours of looking at each other, you actually start to say hi and start to know people. It's quite rewarding, and you keep in touch this way. But I think also there's some. When I look back of the shooting I've done this summer in like Hong Kong, Vietnam, and Taiwan, it's not only about the pictures I bring back in my camera, it's also about the whole feeling from the scene, or maybe sharing a good moment. Like in Kaohsiung, I was with my friend Ariel shooting the sunset, and I know Ariel is watching on Instagram. Hi, and. We were just having a wonderful time shooting the sunset and chatting, and it's a good moment, because I rarely have the chance to spend time with people like that, because I live in Denmark, and then I come back to Taiwan, and then I go to the south of Taiwan, and suddenly my friend is there, and we just have this amazing time, and that is rewarding for me. Many things. Next time you guys should meet some friends here. I will love to attend. Okay, let's see if we will host something like that in the future. Who knows?
maybe we will host like a meetup
Yeah,
in Taiwan.
maybe.
Could be
Yeah.
fun, actually, I think.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Let's see if you guys would like that idea to let a bunch of people meet up and say hi. Why not? Yeah. I guess a taste of Taiwan show us Taiwan's awesome nature. Before we always think our city is not beautiful enough. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. We are very happy. This is the feeling we want to bring. So every time people start to talk politics and stuff, we avoid it, because it's not about the video. The video is exactly about showing the beautiful scenic landscape of Taiwan, and definitely it's amazing. Perry asked, do Danes know about Taiwan? Do they?
Not a lot of my friends actually know about Taiwan. I mean, a lot of them actually know where Taiwan is, but they don't know. They don't know how the flag looks, for example. And they do know it's in Asia, but I don't think many of them know the particular exact location on the world map. So I think Taiwan is a little bit mystical for.
It's a hidden gem, I guess.
Gem.
Yeah, it is. From what I heard before, very often is that they mix up Taiwan and Thailand. It sounds a little bit similar to most, and they don't really know. When I was a kid, most of the toys was made in Taiwan. Later, when computers become popular, they were often produced and made in Taiwan as well. But somehow people don't link this. So for them, they don't really know. But they know from the travel catalogs, they know Thailand. So, it's somewhere in Asia. People just think it's Asia. It's somewhere. It must be Thailand. But yeah, I think a lot of people, like Jonas said, they don't really know it. So hopefully our video and our exposure can help to put Taiwan on the map in this part of the world as well, so they don't mix up anymore. Have you been to Elephant Mountain? Yes, definitely.
I've heard that you've talked about that.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
Shangsan, and it's the opening sequence of A Taste of Taiwan. That shot of 101 is the sunset taken from Elephant Mountain. But I didn't shoot it from the top because there was too many people crowded there. I couldn't get a clear shot. So after struggling with my 20 plus kilo to get up and almost die on my way up, I had to go down a bit again and find a clear spot to shoot it. But yes, been there, and I know I need to get back because Taipei city changed. There's new buildings popping up, so I need to go back.
Why is it called Elephant Mountain?
Actually, I forget, but there's a lot of cute elephants on the viewpoint, on the vantage point there. But I mean, like engraved in the stones.
Okay.
But actually, I forget why it's called Elephant Mountain. Maybe someone can answer that in the chat. People request, please introduce your country to us. Denmark, I guess. Yes.
Yeah, it's a small country in southern Scandinavia, northern Europe. It's like 6 million people live here. Like the country is very small from a geographical viewpoint. But we have a lot of we have some well-known cities like Aarhus and Copenhagen. Especially Copenhagen is popular among Asian people. There's a lot of tourists in Copenhagen from Asia all year round. And actually a lot of Denmark's, like the area is cultivated by agriculture. About 60% of the land is like cultivated. So actually there's not a lot of unspoiled nature left from like what it was for like 5,000 years ago. But despite that, we have some really amazing nature sceneries, lovely hills. We don't have any mountains in Denmark. It's actually quite a flat land, if you can say it like that.
Yeah, it is.
But we have some nice forests and quite some tall hills. It's like 175 meters, I think, the tallest hill above sea level, so it's not that tall, but we have some quite unique nature, I believe. I've actually made a time-lapse film from Jutland, which is like the western part of Denmark. You can go and see it on my webpage, on my Vimeo. It's called Jutland, and it shows like my favorite nature parts from Jutland, which is the western part of Denmark. So it's a very diverse country in terms of city and nature. It's like there's something for both.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's very different from Taiwan when you see the landscape, because if you start, I mean, Denmark is kind of split into 3 islands. So we are located on the long island, which is connected to Germany, and then we have a small little island in the middle called Fyn, and then we have Sjælland, where Copenhagen, our capital, is on the right side, and everything is connected by bridges. This is already different from Taiwan, but when you drive through the landscape, you can, if you go from the south of Denmark to the north, you will also see that the south is more flat, and then the landscape become a little bit more like hills when you get to the middle part. And the northern part as well. And it's Denmark is home of the Vikings. So yeah, if you check history, you will see some very huge Vikings who used to shape Denmark back in the days. And also it's home of Carlsberg, which is beer you can also buy, a pigeon you can buy in Taiwan as well. So actually also when we're talking about more commercial things, Denmark is famous for some big brands like Pandora, the jewelry, or Lego, the toys for kids, Echo, the shoes, B&O, Bang & Olufsen, for audio and headset and earphones. And we probably have one. George Jensen is a jewelry brand as well. All you can get in Taiwan is made in Denmark, and yeah. So many big brands come from here, but a lot of people maybe don't know it's from Denmark. Then we get a question: where do you think is the most beautiful place in Taiwan? What's your favorite place? I get that question quite often, and honestly, it's really, really hard. Because there's too many beautiful places. Hualien, Tawuka is definitely a spot I really love, and I've been going back 7 or 8 times already. So if I want to see mountains and those amazing rock formations, definitely that's the spot. If I want something quiet with lakes and stuff, I will probably go to Sun Moon Lake. And for city, I would say Taichung and Kaohsiung are cities I frequently visit. Maybe because I have friends in both cities, but also because they are quite different from Taipei. Taipei is very more busy and very different, faster pace. And going to Taichung, it's very more slow speed and very friendly people as well. And the restaurants are suddenly very big. You don't really have to have those kind of waiting lines as from Taipei. Everything is more smooth. And yeah, landscape-wise is very different as well. And going down to Kaohsiung, suddenly it's very hard to get a taxi because there is not so many yellow taxis driving around like in the other places. The roads are very wide, and yeah, of course, it's you can feel you're down south, so it's a more slow pace and not so many foreigners on the streets as well. So yeah, it's a big diversity from those places. But honestly, I don't really have a favorite. I love all the places very much. Yeah, it's Taiwan. You've been to Taichung. Hope you come to east of Taiwan again. For sure. Definitely will come back. Next time, you put your country flag together. We'd love to see that. Okay, we will see what we can do. May I meet you guys and take a picture with you when I visit Denmark next year? It depends. It depends when and where you are going to.
Where.
Yeah, when and where, because yeah, most Asians visit Copenhagen. So yeah.
Yeah, we live quite far from Copenhagen. It's like a 3 or 4 hour drive, I believe,
Yeah.
to Copenhagen. But if you're visiting like Jutland or Aarhus, maybe, the second largest city in Denmark, maybe we could meet up. Yeah, I think the Instagram stream ended.
Something happened.
I think the one hour is the limit for Instagram
Okay,
Live.
so we just do it again. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Andrea said, you have a girl help to translate. Yes, we do. We are very lucky. We have Sunny on the side to help translate back and forth, which is very needed. It's great. Thank you, Sunny. So let's see, get more here. And someone familiar here is what's that?
Oh, yeah.
Taiwan is too far for the people in Europe, so many people don't know Taiwan, but the old people know that Formosa is Taiwan. Some old people know Formosa is Taiwan, but it depends. I mean, I used to work in a company before where many people were like around 50 years old and above, and honestly they didn't know Formosa and they didn't know Taiwan. So it really depends. Taiwan is generally not much on the news unless there's something big going on, like you have some nature disaster, earthquake, or very big typhoon or something crazy. I remember maybe in 2000 or 2001, something like that, that you have the SARS virus, and this one was on the news here because it was very huge. But people didn't really realize it was Taiwan. So yeah, it's not much on the news here, just like Denmark is not much on the news in Taiwan. I like the living pace and beautiful scenes in North Europe after staying years there. Yeah, indeed, it's very different here, and we have very nice landscapes.
Yeah, especially it's worth mentioning, I believe, that Denmark is very different from Norway and Sweden, which is quite close by Denmark's location. We have like just north of Denmark, we have North Norway and Sweden, which is very hilly and with a lot of tall mountains and dramatic deep fjords and a big ocean just to the left. And Denmark is more like a little bit more calm and quiet and small in terms of nature, at least. So yeah, that's quite of interesting to mention, I believe.
For sure. I think on all the posts I made for the last couple of months, if you go to the end of it, there's a link to Jonas's personal fan page. And if you click on that, you can definitely find some of his amazing nature videos, time-lapse videos from Denmark. So you should go and check it out later. And you will see the beautiful scenic landscapes of Denmark. Have you got some ideas or plans for the next visit of Taiwan? And also from another one, any plan for a taste of Taiwan too?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are planning to make like a second Taiwan time-lapse production, but we need some sort of like funding,
Yeah.
or because we have to go to Taiwan, both of us, because I have some different like time-lapse skills called the hyperlapse technique, where I like move my camera rapidly through the environment while it's time-lapsing, and that gives quite a different and unique effect, and we would like to incorporate that into a taste of Taiwan too. So yeah, there's quite some stuff that has to fall into place before it can happen, but we're working on it. So.
Yeah, I got this question quite often from journalists when I was in Taiwan this summer. And the thing is, like, what you saw in A Taste of Taiwan is maybe 60 or 70% of our capability, because it was basically me shooting and then Jonas did the editing. But of course, we will be a 100% plus if we are together shooting, because we can use Jonas' hyperlapse ability, which will give a totally different feeling and edge to the movie. But the thing is, like, it's super expensive to do it. Fortunately, I could combine it with my work in IT business as well. So I did use all my free time shooting it. But of course, if we have to spend like 3 or 4 or 5 weeks shooting, more like 4 or 5 weeks probably, there's a lot of funding involved for hotel costs, for traveling. Yeah, we have to, you know, every day need to pay off somehow. So we are trying to find a way if we can work with tourism or someone who can help us to make it possible. Because I did a lot of shooting this summer, but it's not enough. We need Jonas to come with me. So we are both together to shoot in Taiwan. So there's a lot of things involved to do this kind of project, to make a taste of Taiwan too. Because the expectations would definitely be very high if we make a number 2, because the success of this one is quite good. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that number 2 is going to be like a level or 2 above number 1. Before we're going to release it, we have to make sure that we can make something that is better. Yeah, so part of the equation is to maybe work out some sort of storyboard to incorporate maybe a small story into the film through time-lapse. That could be really interesting. And yeah, like we mentioned before, we have to go, both of us, to make our skills play together. Yeah.
Exactly. what are some of the challenges you have encountered and how would you like people to help out? I'm sure many would be happy to, myself included, because it's interesting work.
Well, I guess well, you have mentioned a bit about gaining access to rooftops and acquiring unique views from rooftops that are normally not accessible. So yeah, and I've experienced that myself in Denmark, that you meet people that have connections to other people that know someone that owns like a penthouse apartment on top of a tall building, and you can like have a few evenings or days to shoot time-lapse from a private rooftop or something and get a unique view. So all these kind of connections is helping us to get these unique angles to make our time-lapse photography. So yeah, that's a big help.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, it's always been a challenge to find those special viewpoints, vantage points where you can have a good view, and also we need time to be there. So it's not just 20 minutes. We need maybe 3 or 4 hours or more. So the person who is helping out need to understand and be willing to accept that we need to spend maybe so long time in the rooftop or wherever it is. But it could also be a company who have a great view from their balcony or something like this. Everything is very welcome to help us out, because nowadays, basically I've been getting help from friends of friends of friends, or using some connections, and everything goes to help to get the best shot. And of course sometimes to get to some remote locations would also be helpful, because we don't have a car in Taiwan, so we pretty much rely on friends being able to drive, or maybe booking a taxi. In my case, sometimes I will book a taxi to bring me there, and also to do a pickup maybe 3 or 4 hours later when I'm done. But yeah, something like that is very helpful. Do you like the food in Taiwan? It was not easy for you with bread, cheese and yogurt when you were in Taiwan, or not? Actually, I love a lot of food in Taiwan, and it's Taipei City, especially where I stay most of the time, like my base when I'm there, has so many choices of food, so it's definitely not a problem. And last year we were shooting in Copenhagen here in Denmark for Jonas's Copenhagen video, his personal project, and I was testing Jonas in a Chinese restaurant. A very authentic one, which make really, really delicious Chinese food. It's very hard to find here, and Jonas loved it. And he was very good using chopsticks for the first time as well. So he's a master to use kuaiji now, so it's perfect.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to spending a few weeks in Taiwan. So
yeah, I told him the food in Taiwan is more authentic and better, so he has high expectations now.
Very, very high.
And someone asking if I had a bad experience in Taiwan. Well, I mean, I think there is good and bad everywhere in the world, and no matter where you go. Generally, for 13 years, I would say not really. I only have small, strange experiences, and I think the worst experience I had was actually with a foreigner, not with a Taiwanese. So. Yeah, no, not really, no. I think I just, in Taiwan, most of my friends, I would say 98% of my friends are Taiwanese. I only have a few foreigner friends there. So yeah, I just try to do my thing, do my photo shooting, do my job in the computer business, and hang out with my friends when I have the time, and that's all. It's a very simple life. So I didn't really encounter anything really bad there. Taiwan is a very safe place, and probably one of the most safe places I ever visit. You don't really see other places where you go to a coffee shop and you just need to go to the bathroom, and you just leave your stuff on your table, your computer, your mobile phone. You go to the toilet, you come back 10 minutes later, and everything is still there. I would never do that in Denmark, for sure. You mentioned about project cost. I always wonder what's the financial support of a local government invitation or advertising stuff to support your wonderful and professional creating photos. Well, there is no support.
Unfortunately not,
Yeah,
or just very little.
yeah.
So
So far, at Taste of Taiwan, everything has been funded from our own pockets. We are starting to have a little bit co-work with like A-Data. They supply us some nice looking like hard drives because we need a lot of storage space. So they send us some hard drives or memory cards we can use for our production, which is very helpful because time-lapse consume a lot of space. But for the actual shooting and for travel cost, hotel cost, everything has been funded from our own pocket.
yeah,
Which is why for A Taste of Taiwan too, we really hope we can find someone to work with us on the financial side as well, because that one is going to be a bigger production, and it will take a very long time if we have to do it the same way again.
yeah. It really has its limitations when you have to pay all the expenses from your own pocket. And you don't necessarily know if these money is going to come back someday. It's like it's been quite a lot of investment for us to make these projects, and that's okay because we enjoy it. But when we have to pay it ourselves, there are quite a lot of limitations on how much time we can spend and how far we can travel. So yeah, some funding is definitely necessary for our next project.
Yeah, for sure. I would say we do these kind of things in Denmark, getting paid for it. So it's quite unusual to release a video this way. This is quite unique, and come out of my love for Taiwan to do it. But of course, to make a bigger production and even more crazy and more beautiful one, we'll take it to the next level. But it will also take more of our time, and that means it will be very welcome to work with someone who can help funding.
Yeah.
And that actually leads us to a question or a statement coming. Taiwan Tourism should work with you on making more videos about Taiwan and promoting the beauty of Taiwan. And yeah, it's actually a little bit funny because I tried to reach out to Taiwan Tourism in Taiwan many times. I met them 2 years ago, and I tried to reach out for them again, and there was no reply. But I got in contact with many other branch offices of Taiwan Tourism in Hong Kong, in Malaysia, in Singapore, and they were very happy to talk to me. And eventually, now I'm talking to Taiwan Tourism in Germany. They are like the European center of Taiwan Tourism. I'm discussing with them at the moment, but where it leads, we have no idea. But it's quite interesting to see that Taiwan Tourism is so passive, because, I mean, they are having a unique opportunity here to do something very special. So Taiwan Tourism, if you're listening, just work with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe you guys can make some project to make Taiwan's government collaboration with you guys. Actually,
That's what we were hoping for.
Yeah.
That this project could like gain so much interest from the organizations and tourism boards that they would like discover us and make them be happy to work with us, I think.
yeah.
So that's what we're hoping for, that our project still can make this happen.
Yeah, we had, honestly, for the last couple of months, many months since we released the video end of May, there has been a lot of emails coming, also from very big companies. Unfortunately, a lot of them, they hope they can just like take a piece of the video and use it for free, but of course it's not going to work like that. A Taste of Taiwan is a whole video, it's a whole gift, it's a package to show the beauty of Taiwan. And we're not going to split it apart and give some part to someone else. It will ruin our purpose to show the beauty of Taiwan to the world. But of course, if government want to work with us, tourism or any kind of larger corporation or organization who has funding to help to make something unique to promote Taiwan, it's very welcome for us because it helps us to enable us to do it actually. Abby is saying Hilsen fra Brande. So we have a Taiwanese living in very nearby here. So hi. And let's see, because if there's something missing out on, did we miss out something on Instagram?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's so hard to get. Okay. I think we are getting near the end of all the questions from people, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've also been talking for fairly
We are
long
hitting
time.
like 1 hour and 20 minutes now.
Oh my
so-
god, we talk so much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been nice to like show our faces and talk a little bit about our passion.
For sure,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And someone got translated here, you could try to get in touch with some advertising companies or directors, but of course it's also nice to work with governmental agencies. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. I've been working with quite a lot of advertising companies and production companies in Denmark where I live, and made time-lapse projects with them. And usually they are very interesting and unique content. So I think that the same approach in Taiwan could maybe be the way to go for us if the government does not want to cooperate. So yeah. That's definitely something we are considering.
For sure, yeah. Anyone watching or have seen our work can always get in touch with us, and yeah, we are very open to discuss any opportunities, of course, and yeah, try to reach out. I hope you guys not give up. Eventually, you guys will be up to the top.
There's no giving up for
No
us.
giving up. No giving up.
Never,
No.
never.
We don't
Yeah.
surrender.
We're too passionate to give up.
Yeah.
We just, yeah, time-lapse photography to us is something truly unique and special, and something we do with our hearts.
Yeah.
So giving up is no option for us. So we will find a way.
Yeah,
Of course we will.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the question before, but not today, but I got the question a few times like, hey, you must be shooting with some very expensive camera, some expensive gear. And for sure, we do have some expensive gear, but I still would like to show that one of my favorite cameras when I'm shooting is actually an old Canon EOS 60D. They don't even produce it anymore. It's not 4K resolution or anything like that, but when I shoot the images for time-lapse, it can still be 4K, like at Taste of Taiwan. And a lot of scenes has been shot with this camera. I think today it's called 80D maybe, 70D, something like this.
80D.
80D, right?
Yeah,
I think
so.
80D.
Yeah.
And even this is not really a super expensive, high-end professional camera. It's still awesome, and it has the screen which can flip. So this makes it really nice for time-lapse photography, especially if you want to shoot some special angles where you cannot always get to see through here. Then you can flip out the screen, and you can still adjust your camera and still follow that everything is having the right frame as you want it. Yeah. So just to answer those guys, you don't need to spend your entire fortune on buying a camera to shoot nice pictures. Sometimes it's also about the person using the camera being able to get a nice shot.
Yeah, that's definitely a point. It's more like the person, the creator, the artist, knowing his gear than having like expensive gear that you don't know how to use. I would say it's always more important that you know your gear and you know its limitations, because then you can utilize it in the most effective way. yeah, so like Henrik is saying, expensive gear is not always necessary.
Yeah. Exactly. And usually I travel with two cameras if I want to shoot different angles, different framings. So I'm using this 60D I just showed you, which is the cheap one, and then I have a 5D as well. And of course there is a difference in the picture quality, especially if you're shooting at night view, you can tell the difference. But generally it's about the person using it. You can buy a very expensive camera like an ES1D or something very big from any brand, but if you just put it on auto mode, automatic mode, and start shooting, it's not going to help you much. But feel free to ask any questions for this part as well, or message us in the comments when we post something. We will try our best to answer. Let's see. I think Sunny is busy to translate. Yes, she is. Thank you. How about Instagram? It's okay.
Yeah, it's nice to see people sticking around. I think we have been close to 30 viewers actually the whole time, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice to see people showing interest into our work.
And it's nice to see that you are taking your time from your Moon Festival actually to view us talking. It's amazing. We were aware of that it's a Moon Festival today when we were launching this, and I was kind of thinking maybe it's good because tomorrow is a day off in Taiwan. So maybe if we have this tonight, it's you can still enjoy some Moon Festival after this, and still have some more barbecue or enjoy your night, and yeah, don't have, and not all of you maybe have to work tomorrow, so it's good. Okay. I guess we can start to wrap a little bit. Yeah,
I think so.
Since you've been watching us for almost 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're pushing 1.5 hours, I think. So.
Yeah, and thank you for that, and thank you everyone for watching on our channels. Very happy to see you guys, and hope to see you next time we do a streaming again.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely watch out later today, because Jonas will release his video of Copenhagen. It's his own personal project, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I've spent like the past month of my life creating a new hyperlapse, time-lapse project from Copenhagen in Denmark. There's a link to my fan page in the description of this video, and the video will be live in a few hours. So, and it's really great. I'm so happy about the results. So you should definitely check it out. Yeah. So I think we're gonna wrap up.
All right. Nice to see all of you guys.
Yeah.
And let me see. Yeah. Everybody's saying thank you, so thank you back.
Thank you back.
See you next time.
See you.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Okay. And how's it working?